About 100 miles northwest of Dallas, near the town of St. Joe, Texas, the Elm Fork of the Trinity River has its start. It is hardly more than a small stream at this point, but the water is so clear you can see the bottom even when it is 3 or 4 feet deep. Like all rivers, the Trinity is constantly growing as it moves along, and as it winds its way south towards its destination with the Gulf, its own special beauty and character are also continually changing. Just like any other wild and natural force, the Trinity River is hard to know until you give yourself to the task. As you float along this river, you become aware of a quietness and calm that is becoming harder and harder to find. There are sounds, but they are the sounds of the river and the wind moving through the trees. From time to time you will hear a bird call or the splash of a fish, but mostly you are aware of a quietness. Things are happening all around you, but it takes a while to become aware of them. The most obvious happenings are the flight of a bird or a turtle leaving the comforts of a log to seek safety back in the water. Motions that catch the eye, but only last for a short time, are happening everywhere. The riverbanks slip past, and you are aware of a feeling of movement. Not the type of movement you observe when the action is caused by something other than yourself, but a motion in which you are involved but do not control. It is the river, and now you are a part of it, moving at its pace, observing what it will show you as it happens, but never determining when it will happen. You feel no need to rush it, and are only glad you can be a part of it. I have enjoyed this river since I was a boy. My reasons for floating it have changed since those first trips seeking excitement and adventure. But the river's willingness to give me whatever I was looking for has never changed. Time and distance are two things I find myself searching for more and more. To me, time on a river is a very simple thing. It is being allowed to realize where you are and what is happening at any given moment, and knowing that is the time that is important. I do not find myself concerned with what I will be doing later in the day or next week, but only making sure of the certainty of that moment. Distance is as far as I can see down the river to the next bend, but with the knowledge that beyond that bend, the river continues in an unbroken stretch, waiting and willing to carry me with it for as long as I choose. I find it harder and harder each year to find those unbroken stretches we all seem to seek from time to time. Places so remote that man has not put his hand to them in order to change them to something better or more useful. It is hard for me to equate the terms better and more useful to this river. Ever since I was a boy, the only things I've ever heard about this river were that it is dirty and that someday it will make a useful waterway to the Gulf. I do not question that the river is dirty, but I can lay no blame on the river for the fact of it. I do not question that it will make a good waterway to the Gulf, for it has always been a waterway to the Gulf. I do find myself questioning the use we should put this river to. When do we stop and consider that although we have the power to change anything, that power does not necessarily mean that what we change will be better than what we started with? It seems to me there is a large difference between a wild river and a controlled stretch of water. On a wild river, you're allowed to once again become part of a totally natural place, even if it is just for a day. On a controlled stretch of water, there can be no doubt that man must use it in all possible ways in order to justify the expense of the control. The benefits of control could be enormous, but the loss could be even greater. If this river needs anything, it is to be allowed to follow its natural course. If it can offer us anything, it is to allow us to follow its course.